Evening guys, Jack Scarf here, Director of Scarf Property Solutions, and as you'll know by now, I'm doing 2 blogs a week and vlogs to go with them as well, just to help offer some value and give some advice where I can. Now, today, the title of the blog is If Your Broker Says to You that there's no 10% mortgages, they're lying. Now, I know that's a strict title. I know it's almost a bit of clickbait to get people in, and that's not the point of it. The point of it is, I had a situation this week where another broker had actually told their client that there are no 10% deposit mortgages available. Say you're buying a property for 100,000 and you've got a 10,000 deposit, you need a 90,000 mortgage. He told them it wasn't an option when in fact it is. So the message here is, go somewhere where you're going to get a fantastic service and go somewhere where you're going to be put first. So without going into too much detail, the long and short of it is, my customer, who I've arranged a mortgage for, no problem at all. He's buying a property. However, he's selling his property and that client is using a different broker. Now that broker has now said to him that there's no 10% deposit mortgages, which is having an effect on the whole chain. It means my customer can't buy his property. So I need to take action and I need to make things happen here. So I tried to speak to the other broker to find out exactly what's going on. And I even said, look, if you need my help, I'm more than happy to tell you which lenders are going to be able to do this. If you haven't got access to them, then we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. But ideally, you have access to them. You can get the mortgage for your client. Everyone's happy. Now, when I did that, the response I got was basically that he didn't want any help from me. Now, message there from a self-development point of view, always be humble enough to take advice. If I was struggling with something, I was always, and still am, always looking for that advice to see if I can do anything better. When I called the company to try and get hold of this chap, and I couldn't, hence I emailed him, the receptionist said he was on holiday, she'd transfer me to another broker. So I went to speak to this other broker who didn't come across particularly professional, who said that the other broker was on the phone. So that service to me, with a broker saying they're on holiday, they're actually on the phone, you know, we don't know what's going on, and there's no 10% deposit options, but I'm not willing to take that extra step and help my client, that is something that you need to avoid. Now, on the topic of deposits as well, story aside, there are options with smaller deposits. Now, some brokers might not tell you there are. These might be the brokers that only have access to kind of 23 to 26 lenders, whereas other brokers have access to 90 plus. With a 10% deposit, I admit, it is harder than it has been for a long, long time. But there are still options out there, so don't give up hope completely. Now, there's even options out there with no deposit. So if you've got no deposit, but you have a family member that's happy to secure a charge against their home, which will work as your deposit. So again, buying 100,000, parent has no mortgage because they've paid it off at their time in life, and you're looking for a 90,000 mortgage, 10% deposit, rather than stumping up any cash at all, you can actually just get a 10,000 charge secured against their home. The reason the lender wants that, if you start missing mortgage payments, they want to know that they can get that money back if they need to, or if they need to repossess the house and sell it, they're still actually going to get their whole money back and they're not going to make a loss. But if you're managing your finances well, that's never going to happen, and it just means you can buy a property without having a deposit. 5% deposits as well. So with a 5% deposit, in Scotland there are quite a few more options than there are in the UK, but if you do have a 5% deposit and that's all you've got at the moment, you still want to buy because you know you can get a bargain, then you can use the Help to Buy scheme if you're buying a new build property. Now, do speak to a qualified advisor about this because there's lots of pros and cons about the Help to Buy scheme, but it does mean you get a 5% deposit from you to buy the house, and the government will give you a 20% deposit to go with it, which will be secured against your home, and you do have to pay it back. Now's not the time to go into a lot of detail about that. If you want to, drop a comment below. Happy to do a video all about Help to Buy at some point too. So, with deposits kind of wrapped up on residential, if you're looking to buy a buy-to-let, what kind of deposit do you need for that? At the moment, the minimum deposit you're going to need is actually a 20% deposit. Normally it's 15 in a really, really thriving market, but it's still a little bit slower than we would like it to be in terms of the lending options available. In terms of the clients, I think I'm busier than I've ever been. It's fantastic. but with the lending options, they are still slightly restricted. So 25% is kind of the ball mark that I'd always recommend for clients, because then the rates do start to get better, the fees start to get lower as well, but you are looking at 20% rather than 15% on the real lower end for buy to let. So the only other thing I wanted to touch upon tonight was bounce back loans. Now, bounce back loans are of course designed to help your business get back on its feet after what may have been a testing time. If you are taking a bounce back loan or have taken a bounce back loan, because it's 0% for the first year and 2.5% interest for the remaining term, I can see why people would want to do that and invest it in property and look at getting kind of a 15 or 20% return on their investment. If you are looking to do that, it is possible to use a bounce back loan as a deposit, but it's more a case of you've got money sitting in your company and you're looking to buy an investment property through a limited company that you've newly formed, which will be called an SPV. Again, if you need more information on that, drop me a comment below. Happy to help out with a video on limited company buy-to-let and SPVs and how they work. But basically, you want to buy a property through a limited company. Your holding company has the bounce back loan in there, let's say £50,000. On the day of completion, you can transfer that from the holding company into the SPV or the limited company that you're looking to buy the property through. So it's not going to be well publicised. It is not what they are designed for, but theoretically, if you have money in your holding account or your main company account, you set up a new limited company to buy an investment property that could potentially be used as deposit. Now, do speak to a qualified broker about that, because some lenders have just said hard no, definitely not going to do that. Whereas some are actually a lot more understanding that it is something that's going to happen and it's just improved people's financial position and they're happy for them to use it. So I hope that helps. I hope you get a lot of value out of that. Please do like, subscribe, and if you hit the notification bell as well, every time I release a video, you'll be notified first. So all the best, and I'll be back in touch with you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.